Hello and welcome to the final trial X-Wing video. Yes, I'm afraid it is the trial. It has been confirmed. In issue 4 we got this little pamphlet here that says that it is the trial and it is cancelled for the foreseeable future, which means that we'll probably see it in about a year's time, maybe after R2-D2 is done, but that is unlikely. Which is a bit of a shame because, I don't know what, even though I was unsure at the start, I've fallen in love with this kit. I really have. I'm more excited about the parts of the X-Wing than I am certain R2-D2 parts at the moment. But that's mainly because the R2-D2 parts are very similar at the moment. Anyway, so this video we're going to be looking at issues 2, 3 and 4. So without further ado, let's get going. Okay then, so to start off we have these pieces here. These are the parts from issue 2. This is the bottom of the cockpit floor. This piece is heavy. It is far weightier than I thought it would be. It is made of metal, and it is very, very nice indeed. I love the grooves. I love that. Yeah, very, very nice piece. This very solid. This X-Wing is going to be heavy if this is just the cockpit. So we have that piece there. We have more parts of R2-D2 and a light there. And then we have more parts of the blasters. Just moving that aside for now, just bring in the stuff we get in issue 3. So in issue 3 we get a screwdriver, very nice screwdriver this. Yeah, tiny screwdriver for the tiny screws. We get another part of the blaster and all this as well. We get more parts of the cockpit, of course, and more parts of R2-D2. And keeping with the trend, removing all of issue 3 stuff, we have the battery pack, which will come to play later. We have another part of R2-D2, more parts of the cockpit, and more parts of the blaster as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divvy this all up into the 3 components that we have, the cockpit, R2-D2 and the blaster. And then I'm going to do each one in order, starting with the cockpit. Okay then, so this is the first part of the cockpit. Of course, the floor, which I've already mentioned, is very weighty and I really like those ridges. The next parts you'll need are these 2 parts from issue 3. And if you look at the connectors here, you'll see that this is how it connects to the base of the cockpit. So there's a little groove there and a screw hole, little groove and a screw hole. You just kind of push it against the groove and then line up the screw holes with those parts there. The screws you use for this bit are X-Wing 01 screws that came in issue 3. So I'm just going to open these up and attach these 2 parts to the base of the cockpit. And there we go, that is what it looks like when it's all done. A really nice design actually. The screws went in super simply. I thought I'd have to fiddle around with them a little bit more because of the design, but no, those parts look like that and they are, yeah, very, very nice indeed. The next parts you'll need are the parts that we got in issue 4, which are these metallic parts here. Now you have little labels, left and right and left. So there they are looking like that. And you'll notice that these 2 outside ones, they are curved. So basically these parts here will attach on the top and will curve down because obviously there's a height difference. This is higher than this bit. And then these 2 parts here attach to the bottom there like that. So I'm just going to screw them down with these next screws, which are still X-Wing 01 screws, but a whole bunch of them. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And here we have the cockpit all finished with their frames intact and yeah, looking very nice indeed. There's not much else to say about this cockpit part really. It's a shame that it's finished here because there's lots more to do, I can imagine, but I guess that's the whole point of a trial, to kind of get you excited and wanting more. Yeah, it's really, I'm a bit scared. This thing is heavy. This thing is hefty. This thing is bulky. This X-Wing's going to be, I think, possibly heavier than the Falcon. It's definitely going to be bigger, you know, in terms of wingspan. But yeah, I do like this bit. This part does not attach to this part whatsoever. I'm not entirely sure which way around it's meant to go. I'm pretty sure it's this way around. Yeah, because it gets thinner there. So yeah, that's what the cockpit looks like. Doesn't really look like an X-Wing. Looks more like a raptor skeleton mouth. But yeah, I mean, it's good, solid workmanship. I'm curious about what all these other holes are going to be. Are they going to be for attachments? Are they going to be for other stuff? We'll find out later on in our lives. But yeah, for now, that is the cockpit, and it looks alright to me. Let's move on to R2-D2. Okay, so here are the parts of R2-D2. A lot to assemble here, but it is fairly straightforward. I'm going to start with this leg over here. Let's just zoom in a little bit. So you see you've got the outside of the leg here, and you have the inside of the leg here. You just push those parts together. All these parts you just push and click into place. If you want to attach them with glue, you can, but I don't really see the need, as they do attach really well. Just like that. You then get this part here and you push it in like that, so that the tabs are one is up, one is down, like that, and that just clicks into place there. And then you get this part here, which came with this little side bit to attach, which was a bit silly because I lost it on the other one, but it's on the trial, so it doesn't matter. So you get this part there and you just push it in like that, and that is one of the legs completed. Moving on then to the next leg. This one is the same but a little bit different because it is going to have this wire going through it, and you'll see on this foot here there are two kind of little cutout tab parts, you'll see, and those are to house these electrical circle pads here, just like that. So when it's finished, they will sit in there, and there are holes at the bottom of R2-D2 for the pads to come through, which will all be explained at a later date. But I'm just going to go away and do this leg because this is a little fiddly. When I do that, I'll be right back with you. Okay, so here we have the finished leg, just like that. You can kind of see the silver parts coming through the holes there. This is very fiddly to do, so do take your time doing it. And of course, I lost that back cap of that part there, but that's okay because it's at the back of R2-D2. And then you need to just thread the bulb through this bit like that. Sorry, like there. Turn this round and attach it just like the other one. Attached. Push that in there like that. So you have the wire coming out of this one, and you don't have a wire coming out of this one. But apart from that, they are identical. So moving on then to the main body. We have this part here, which is kind of like the center spine of R2-D2. Make sure that this part is the correct way up with this little bottom bit at the bottom. You get the side of the spine that has like a hexagon ridged shape there. You just pop that in there like that. And then you get this leg, and you just attach it to the body like that. Okay, this is a little finicky. Let me just go away and do this part. Be right back. Okay, here we go. The reason it was finicky is because the tabs of the arms, if I just get there, these two tabs that go up and down, they don't fit into the front, they fit into the back because they've got the corresponding tabs in the back. So that is what it needs to look like at this stage. Then you just bring in the front and you just clip it all together, making sure that that bulb sticks out there like that. And I think that's all good like that. It is a little wobbly, it is a little loose, but that is securely on. And then of course we get R2-D2's head and just pop it on there, and R2-D2's head turns. And this leg is a little wobbly. So he's a little jittery, he's a little wobbly, this R2-D2, but he does have a leg that turns. And this bulb part here, we'll have a look at what that does in a little bit. But yeah, there you go, a little mini R2-D2 for you. That's actually really cool, really nicely detailed. His legs don't move obviously because he is in the X-Wing flying position, but you can turn his head really quite easily, and it does come off with some force, but you know, it is quite secure on there as well. It was. No, it's not. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, you pushed that bit at the top there. Oh, hold on. I wonder. This is kind of grooved. I wonder if something will happen at the bottom of the X-Wing to make R2-D2's head turn like that. That would be awesome. I think that might be a thing. Brilliant. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what that does. But for now, that is R2-D2 having a nap all completed. Let's move on to those lasers. Okay, as you can see, there are a lot of parts again for this one laser. So I'm just going to start off very simply with these 3 parts here. So we have this wire with an LED attached to it. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more as well. You will need to get these 2 parts to start off with. Make sure that you've got them the right way around. And then the part with the groove there is the part you put the LED through. So you just push that in there like that, and then push that down like that. So you have something that looks like that. You then get this part here, which has got a really nice color of gold, bronze, kind of real engine color. I really like that. You see you've got a little tab there that matches that tab there. So you push the LED through the hole like that. You can see it sticking out there. Push this part, make sure the tabs line up, and then really push it together like that. So the LED is still sticking out like that. And then you have that part that looks like that. You then need to get this part here, which is like a ridged part here. All these parts are plastic, by the way. None of this is metal. They are plastic, well painted parts. You feed this through. Is this the right way around? Okay, so this ridge part here goes on the outside. This part goes on the inside. So let's feed this through like this. Come on. There you come. There you go. And then, of course, it's got a little tab there, matching that little hole there. And just push that into place like so. There we go, like that. You then need to get this part here, which is similar to this part, but it's got lots of other funky parts as well. And you can see there is no hole. You can't get through. Can't get the wire through this part. So what you do is you match up this tab. You match up this hole here with this tab, and you slot it in there like that, so that the wire actually sticks out like that. So you have that part there that looks like that, and then you get these 2 pieces, which again is painted with this wonderful color, bronze gold thing. Make sure you get them the right way around, so they'll look like that. Push them together, and then a little tab there, little hole there. Push that part in there like that. So at the end of it, it will look like that. So that is how it will look at the end of issue 2. Issue 3 comes with the second part of this housing. We already had the first part in issue 1. And what you'll need, okay, is the part here with this kind of attaching part. I guess this will attach to the main X-Wing when it's all done. You want this part here. This one doesn't have it. This bit here, and you just line up the interior of the laser like this. You'll see there's a little groove there for the wire to go through. So just push that in there. Wire goes through there like that. And you've got interior workings of the laser. That is fantastic. That is brilliant. You're not going to be able to see that on the finished X-Wing, but the detail, that paint detail that they've gone into just to have that is brilliant. I love that. You then get the corresponding part, of course, and you close it up. Okay, so there's a tab there and a hole there. Similar, there's a tab there and a hole there. You match them up like that, push them together, and you get that part there. Now I already see there is some kind of paint differential between the 2 parts. Very clear line of where the seam is. That doesn't bother me so much now, but maybe in the final thing you can do your own paint job. But I love the fact that it is weathered. I love the fact that it is painted up already. That is brilliant. Okay, so this part here needs to be covered with this part here. Does that just slot in? How does that attach? bear with me just a second. Nope, my mistake. It's not this part. It is this part, which has a nice little cap there. So you just push that part on there like that. And you got this nice kind of machine gun looking part there. Very nice indeed. And then of course this part, no. Instead of guessing, let me just check the instructions. Okay, this part comes a lot later. I'm just very excited to get this part on, but it does come on later. For now, we just need to attach more details with these holes here. So you'll see we get this part here, which is just like a little side junction box. Again, nicely painted black at the tips there. And we've got a hole and a tab, hole, and you just push it in there like this. Again, you can glue if you want to, but you really don't need to because that fits in there like that. Looking very, very nice indeed. Look at that. Beautiful. Love that attention to detail. Oh, actually, and there's two holes there that match these two pegs there. So you make sure you need to push them in as well. Crikey. Just easier said than done. Okay, there's one. And here's the other soon. Yes, there we go. Perfect. Look at that. Brilliant. I do like that differential on paint. I think that actually makes it quite realistic. Different parts get different levels of scorched. Okay, anyway. This part then leaves this gap here, which you can attach this other bit of detailing on, which is very nice indeed. And very nice to get this kind of small detail on just the trial versions of the X-Wing. Very bizarre, but very nice. Thank you, D'Agostini, for that. Okay, now we move on to this part here. Okay, so you see it's not fully a circle. It's not a full circle here. It is kind of a half circle with this part being straight. Similarly, this isn't a full circle. This has a straight part there. So you just line up the two, push it on like that. Oh, are they meant to tuck in? Oh, I just bent those parts. I think they're meant to go over the top. Are they? I think they are. Oh, for now, they tuck in there like that. I think they do tuck in. You'll see. There we go. And that is looking like that. Let's zoom out a little bit. And you'll see that the detail is just wonderful. Look at that. That is brilliant. Oh. You then attach this bit looking like that. And you get a really wide shot because it's such a long laser cannon. Brilliant. Now this part is definitely metal, I think. Definitely cooler to the plastic touch here. I think because it sticks out, it needs to be of a more solid material, which is nice. Yeah, so that is what it looks like at the end of issue 3. Okay, moving on to issue 4 now, and I really should have looked ahead to issue 4 because this is a bit weird, D'Agostini. I'm not entirely sure why you've done this. We now need to separate this part again. So if you had glued it down, I don't know how you're going to do this bit. Oh, take this cap off. Separate that because the LED there, oh, I'm really far away, sorry. The LED there needs to have this part pushed against it. Now, there's no hole. Sorry, let's just show this part off. It's just a tube, a clear tube. There's no holes on either end, but we just need to make sure that the tube is attached there before we close it all back up again. Bit of a random way of doing it, D'Agostini, it has to be said, but there we go. Maybe you'll get it better for the actual release rather than having to take it all apart. I'm going to put this part on. Oh, right, okay. So this tube now has to fit through the length of this cannon here. Just going to zoom out. Has to fit through the length of this. It's stuck. Why is it stuck? Okay, let's do this one at a time. Oh, you heard that clink. That is definitely metal, isn't it? Okay, push it through, push it through, push it through. So it comes out the end there. Is this a separate part? Oh, now it's come out of this part. Be right back. I'm just going to fed this through and then I'll be back with you. Okay, that is all complete. And I found it far, far simpler to take this this see-through part and thread it this way rather than this way, as the instructions say. So thread it through the thinnest part into the bigger, and then into that part there, like that. That is much easier for me anyway. And that is how I recommend you do it. Okay, so moving on to this tip part then. Oh yeah, I'm going the right way. You need to then thread this part into or through this bit here. Is it this way? Like that. No, that's not right. That's not right at all. Aha, because I hadn't connected it properly. So you'll need these two parts here, and they've got a little groove there, which will just fit this part in there like that, and then a little groove there. And you close it all up and it will look like that. And then you thread this part on there like that. I'm not entirely sure which way around that will go, so I'll leave that for just a second. Thread this through, and again it's getting stuck on this small part. You really need to thread it through the smallest part first, don't you? You really do. So let's just... Okay, I'm just going to do this off camera. Be right back. Okay, here we go. That is all done now. But yeah, I really would recommend wait till you get the see-through part and thread it through the bottom onwards, or get the see-through part earlier, D'Agostini. Make it earlier. Okay, moving on to this part here. You will see in the hole there's a little tiny little tab there, and here you'll see there's a little tiny little hole on that side, so we just thread that through and into the tab like that, and that is how that will look. And you can see up close actually the paint detail there. Very nice indeed. So yeah, that is all completed. That is the laser, apart from this bit which I forgot to put on. Let's put this back on. Clickety click, and that is the laser all done. Not quite all completed actually, because I went through the packaging just to make sure I hadn't forgotten anything. First off, I found the cover. Oh, I did find the cover. Okay, that's popped off again. I did find the cover for that part there of R2-D2, but it's popped off again since then. And also I broke off the little kind of bit there as well on my R2-D2, but it is just a trial, so I'm not too fussed about it. But an important part that you shouldn't forget is this little bit here, which just goes on the tip of the laser, just to make sure that that wire stays in place, I guess. But it is super tiny. It just clips on there. There you go. Oh, just like that. So you got a little tip there, like that. So the final thing we have to do is light these babies up. Which one should we start with? Let's start with R2-D2. So you need to get the battery pack, and it takes 2 AAA batteries. So let's just put them in here like that, and then like that. Close that up. Now with R2-D2, in issue 4, it comes with this little part here, which was in this when I got out the packaging. I thought I'd lost it. That's why I was going through the packaging, but no, it was just in here. You open it up and it's in there. It's got 2 little metal tabs there, which will rest R2-D2's foot on there like that. But first of all, let's plug it in. So it's got a little plug there, a tiny little plug there. Just make sure I get it the right way around. Push it in there like that, so it's flush. And then let's put R2-D2 on his little pad. Oh, the right way around will be helpful. And see what happens. Whoa! Wow. Okay. Okay, you're not meant to have that little rectangle there because that'll be covered up. But man, I didn't expect it to be red. I don't know why. I don't know what colour I was expected to. That is crazy. Why would R2-D2 ever glow that red? He's angry. Short circuit, Johnny 5. Johnny 5 is angry. Wow. Okay. This might need some black paint to cover this white. I guess the red eye, maybe? This doesn't actually make sense, this light up feature. I mean, I guess it's pretty neat that he does light up. it'd make more sense to have that bit light up red. I don't know. What do you think? Well, that's R2-D2 all lit up. I do like this, how you put it in and it works. I don't know. I'm not too sure about that one. Let's move on to the main one, which is this gun here. So we've got the cable. It's the same plug. Plug it in. And, oh, okay. It's happened straight away. Oh, wow. Oh, there's lights everywhere. Okay, so let's move to this end and you'll see that it has lit up like that on the very tip. Very, very nice indeed. Yeah, liking that. And not only that, if we go all the way down here, you see that this glows red as well. Now, I guess there'll be a function on the proper X-Wing, X-Wing, that you press a button to light this cannon up. So this will only be momentarily rather than steady light. But I do love that. That looks stunning. That light in between there. Wow. I know it's just because it's bleeding. It doesn't go through there, so that's good. I know it's just light bleeding, but that I really like that. Really like that. And then, of course, at the tip. Nice little light up feature. Fantastic. Yeah, I much prefer that to the R2-D2 one. Although it does glow more, it doesn't need to. That is random. So yeah, that is the X-Wing trial all done. Look at that. I think this is the start of a very, very good model. It's going to be huge. For some bizarre comparison, here's the nose cone of the cockpit of the Falcon. And you can already see the X-Wing cockpit is quite a bit larger. So that is that comparison. We have here the reactor generator of Back to the Future's DeLorean for size comparisons. So that is that there. That is that there. And for an R2 size comparison, just move all this down, we'll have his leg there. So the leg, you can see the gun is a lot longer than the leg. Falcon, DeLorean. Give me a screwdriver. Oh yeah, actually, screwdriver will be handy. That's a regular screwdriver. And size comparison. Yeah, you get the idea. It's going to be huge. So let's just move all these parts out of the way and leave it with X-Wing parts. That is the end of this trial. And that is the end of X-Wing for now. Now, I'm just going to do a little kind of... oh, yeah, don't forget this little bit. I am going to do here just a little plug asking, please become my patron. With this X-Wing coming up and with another build that potentially might be coming up, I won't be able to do all of them. I really won't. I want to keep this channel going. I want to keep building the builds that you want me to build and you are building yourselves. So if you could just donate just $2 a month just to help me out, that would be fantastic. And I'll be able to do the X-Wing and all the other stuff that's on the channel as well. So sorry to end with a plug, but I do need it if the channel wants to continue. So I hope you'll think about that at any rate. And that is X-Wing all done. I'm really excited, really excited for this model. There's lots of parts that intrigue me. R2-D2 light up does intrigue me, but there's loads. I mean, look at that. That's stunning. In fact, I'm going to leave zoomed in on that nice red glow there of the X-Wing. So I hope you will join me for my other videos. This will be around in about a year, I think. Please think about hitting me up on Patreon. So until next time, guys, take care. Bye-bye.